So as you know, the new Star Trek Section 31 TV movie is due to stream on Paramount Plus later this month, on January 24th. Now, we've discussed this production several times at this point, and we've already talked about how it doesn't look particularly Star Trek, but even if it wasn't a Star Trek production, the look and feel of this TV movie doesn't exactly thrill me as a sci-fi action concept. It looks very bleak and grim and dystopian. I would actually go so far as to say kind of degenerate looking. And the reaction from Star Trek fans hasn't been great. The trailer, released 3 weeks ago on the Paramount Plus YouTube channel, has 17,000 dislikes and just 3,700 likes. There was a trailer released about 5 months ago, which has 34,000 dislikes to just 5,700 likes. So not exactly hotly anticipated. This article is from trekmovie.com. Section 31 actor worried fellow fans will reject movie for being a different kind of Star Trek. Or they'll reject it because it's nothing like Star Trek, and it's about as un-Star Trek as you can get. We are now just weeks away from the debut of Star Trek Section 31. This new film starring Michelle Yeoh is unique for being the first streaming TV movie for the franchise, but it has also been touted as something a bit different, hoping to attract a new audience. God, why do studios keep doing this lately with big franchises? Trying to attract a new audience. There's a massive existing audience for Star Trek already. Why not just cater to them? If you give long-time Star Trek fans what they want, you give them good quality science fiction Star Trek with a proper recognizable Star Trek setting and Star Trek type situations and Star Trek type characters, they will be very pleased with you. They will invest their time, they will buy your product. What is the issue? What is this constant need to reimagine things and update things for a modern audience or a new audience? It's just utterly ridiculous. Who is Star Trek Section 31 aimed at? What new audience is there? Are they ever going to learn? This quote-unquote new audience, it doesn't exist. I don't know how many times they've done this. How much more alienation with existing fan bases is going to go on with these kind of franchises? How much more do Paramount want to alienate Star Trek fans? I've got a lot more I want to say in response to this right after this. But before we go very much further, a word now about my new novel Deus V Machina, a Cody Stockton mystery available in ebook, audiobook and paperback formats from the links below. It's Las Vegas 2045. While investigating a mysterious death, private detective Cody Stockton uncovers a murder leading to a shocking global conspiracy with terrifying consequences for humanity. Meantime, the world is about to be plunged under the authoritarian rule of a nefarious artificial intelligence system, while a man with seemingly miraculous abilities claiming to be the son of God rails against it. But what have these seemingly unconnected events got to do with Stockton's case, and what malevolent force lies at the center of this mystery? Deus V Machina is an engaging, fast-paced story available now in ebook, audiobook and paperback formats from the links below. Pick up your copy today, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back. So back to the article. One of the biggest proponents of the movie is actor Robert Kaczynski, Zeph, who is a genuine Trek fan, and thusly, he knows the history of introducing something new for the franchise. Superfan Robert Kaczynski is terrified. In addition to the interview with director Olatunde Osan, sorry, I'm not going to pronounce that correctly, but you can read it there. The Star Trek Section 31 cover story for the brand new issue of SFX magazine includes an interview with Robert Kaczynski, who talks about what it was like as a fan to make the movie. Now, later in the article, there's the following quote from Kaczynski. He says, "I'm terrified of how it's going to be received, because it's not the Trek people want." Yes, indeed, it is not the Trek people want. It's nothing like the Trek people want. He then says, the Trek that we all want is just 1,000 more episodes of TNG. Well, not necessarily. I mean, Star Trek The Next Generation had its day. It ran for 7 seasons. It produced over, 179 or 180 episodes or whatever, which was more than sufficient. Okay? And we got other series. We got DS9, we got Voyager, we got Enterprise. Fans would have been happy to continue to see the franchise move forward with a new show. But a show that was inherently Star Trek, of course. And that's what people really want. It's not that they want more of the same again. Fans are open to new things, but they don't want the deviation or the evolution of a new show to be totally, completely and utterly at odds with what Star Trek is supposed to be. And TV movies like Star Trek Section 31 are just simply... they're just not Star Trek, I'm sorry. He also says, everyone's always furious that they're not getting more TNG, whilst at the same time, when TNG came out, everybody hated it. That's not true. It did take a while for TNG to find its feet, but the first 2 seasons were good. They weren't amazing. Everyone acknowledges that from the 3rd season on, the show really found its feet. But TNG's first 2 seasons were at least good. That's why it got to a 3rd season. But no, people didn't hate it. Although there were some long-time fans who took a while to warm to the new cast because they were just used to the original series cast. But they grew to love the series. I don't think that's a particularly good comparison, with all due respect. So he says, so this is going to come along and it's not going to feel like any Star Trek that they've ever seen. Well, that is absolutely for certain. I'm just not sure they could have made a more un-Star Trek film if they tried. But ultimately, Section 31 weren't exactly the heroes of the story. Okay, they were supposed to be antagonists in a murky, morally grey area. And to me, I don't think it's within keeping of Gene Roddenberry's hopeful, optimistic vision of the future to tell a Star Trek story from the perspective of a Trek antagonist, especially one that is a secretive, morally ambiguous, or even morally bankrupt, shadowy, clandestine spy agency engaged in unethical operations. Section 31 was something that Starfleet and the Federation weren't proud of, so much so they denied their very existence. But that being said, I don't know why these characters are dressed like they just stepped out of some weird S&M nightclub. I mean, just look at their costumes and their hair. And they don't exactly look like secret agents, do they? Yeah, not exactly inconspicuous. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and share this video. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.